Imagine Mongolia's endless grasslands, shaped by wind and resilience. Here a boy named Temujin faced hardship, and rose to become Genghis Khan. More than a conqueror, he united tribes and forged the world's largest empire. This is the story of the man behind the myth. Temujin was born around 1162 in a Mongolia divided by warring tribes. Life was dangerous. Raids, shifting alliances, and constant uncertainty. His father, Yesuge, was a respected chieftain of the Borjigin clan, but he had many enemies. When Temujin was about 9, tragedy struck. Yesuge was poisoned by a rival tribe. Suddenly, Temujin's family was left vulnerable. Their own clan abandoned them, casting Temujin, his mother Holun, and his siblings out onto the harsh steppe. They faced starvation, freezing winters, and attacks from enemies. Every day was a struggle to survive. Temujin learned hard lessons early. The world could be cruel, trust was rare, and loyalty was everything. He saw how betrayal could destroy, and how resourcefulness could save. These brutal years forged him into a survivor. He learned to hunt, to gather, to hide, and to fight. Temujin's mother taught him resilience and the importance of unity. He never forgot those who helped, or those who betrayed. The steppe was unforgiving, but it was also a teacher. Temujin's childhood was marked by loss, but also by determination. He refused to give up, even when hope seemed lost. He watched, listened, and learned from everyone around him. The hardships he endured would shape his destiny. Temujin's early struggles prepared him for the challenges ahead. He grew strong, cunning, and relentless. The boy who was cast out would one day return, not as a victim, but as a leader. His journey from outcast to conqueror began in these years of hardship. The making of Temujin was a story of survival against all odds. He would never forget the lessons of the steppe. They would guide him as he rose to power. Temujin's story is proof that greatness can come from the harshest beginnings. The world would soon know his name. The boy from the steppe was ready to change history. This was only the beginning. The making of Genghis Khan had begun. As Temujin grew, so did his ambition. He gathered followers, not just family, but those who showed courage and loyalty. He valued skill above blood, breaking with old tribal traditions. Temujin saw that divided, the Mongols were weak. United, they could be unstoppable. He began forging alliances, reaching out to other leaders. One key ally was Togrul Khan of the Kurate tribe, an old friend of his father. This alliance gave Temujin protection and influence. He also formed a blood brotherhood with Jamuka, a powerful young leader. Together, they fought battles and gained strength. But unity was not easy. Conflict and betrayal were constant threats. Even Jamuka, once his closest ally, became his rival. Temujin faced battles against other tribes and those who resisted his vision. He learned to choose allies carefully and to act decisively. Slowly, he built his power, bringing more people under his banner. His reputation grew. He was becoming a force on the steppe. Temujin's vision was bigger than any tribe. He wanted to unite all Mongols, ending the cycle of feuds and chaos. He offered loyalty and opportunity to those who joined him. His leadership inspired hope and fear in equal measure. The path to unity was filled with struggle, but Temujin never wavered. He adapted, learned from setbacks, and pressed forward. The Mongol tribes began to rally behind him. Temujin was no longer just a survivor. He was a leader with a mission. The rise of a uniter had begun. The steppe was changing, and so was its destiny. Temujin's dream of unity was becoming reality. The world would soon know him as Genghis Khan. The age of the Mongol Empire was dawning. Temujin, now known as Genghis Khan, knew that power depended on a new kind of army. He broke down old tribal divisions, building a force based on loyalty to him alone. His army was organized by the decimal system units of 10, 100, 1,000, and 10,000. This structure created clear command and rapid communication. Discipline was strict, orders were obeyed without question. Loyalty to Genghis Khan was absolute, binding the army together. The Mongol warriors trained constantly, becoming professionals in warfare. They were expert horsemen, able to ride and shoot with deadly accuracy. Their horses were tough, able to travel vast distances quickly. The army's mobility was unmatched. They could strike suddenly and disappear just as fast. Genghis Khan's reforms made the Mongol army a unified, flexible, and efficient force. Old tribal loyalties faded, replaced by a new sense of purpose. The Mongol army became a storm on horseback, feared across continents. Their speed and discipline gave them a huge advantage. They could outmaneuver and outfight much larger enemies. Genghis Khan demanded excellence and rewarded it. He promoted based on merit, not birth. This created fierce loyalty and competition among his warriors. The army was always ready, always learning, always adapting. Genghis Khan's military genius transformed the Mongols into an unstoppable force. The world had never seen an army like this. The steppe had produced a new kind of warrior. The Mongol army was his greatest weapon. It would carry his name across the world. The age of conquest was about to begin. Genghis Khan's army was ready. Genghis Khan was more than a warrior. He was a master strategist. He relied on intelligence, using spies and scouts to learn everything about his enemies. Psychological warfare was his weapon. His army's reputation for ferocity often made cities surrender without a fight. He used tactics like feigned retreats and encirclements, luring enemies into traps. Genghis Khan adopted new technologies like siege weapons from China and Persia. He was always learning, always adapting. Diplomacy was part of his arsenal. He offered surrender and safety but punished resistance with destruction. Many chose to submit rather than face the Mongol army. His strategies saved lives and resources, making conquest more efficient. Genghis Khan's genius lay in his ability to combine force, fear, and flexibility. He turned the Mongol army into a tool of both terror and opportunity. His innovations changed the art of war forever. The world would never fight the same way again. After conquest came an era of peace, the Pax Mongolica. Under Mongol rule, trade routes like the Silk Road flourished. Merchants could travel safely from China to Europe. Goods, ideas, and technologies flowed freely across the empire. Genghis Khan and his successors encouraged trade and punished banditry. The empire grew wealthy and many regions prospered. The Mongol peace connected distant civilizations, fostering cultural exchange. Innovations like gunpowder, the compass, and paper-making spread from east to west. The world became more interconnected than ever before. The Pax Mongolica was a period of globalization before the word existed. It brought prosperity and new possibilities to millions. The legacy of this peace shaped the world for centuries. Genghis Khan's empire was more than conquest, it was a bridge between worlds. The Mongol peace changed history. Genghis Khan was not just a conqueror, he was a lawmaker. He created a unified legal code, the Yasa, bringing order to his vast empire. The laws applied to everyone, promoting fairness and reducing conflict. Loyalty was rewarded, betrayal punished. Genghis Khan practiced religious tolerance, allowing people to follow their own faiths. He consulted with leaders of many religions, seeking wisdom and stability. To govern his empire, he built the Yam, a network of postal relay stations. Messages could travel hundreds of miles in a day, keeping the empire connected. This system allowed for rapid communication and control. Genghis Khan's rule was efficient, open-minded, and ahead of its time. He built systems that lasted long after his death. His vision of law and order helped hold the empire together. The Mongol Empire was more than a force of destruction, it was a model of innovation. Genghis Khan died in 1227, likely in his mid-60s. The cause of his death remains a mystery, some say injury, others illness. His burial was shrouded in secrecy. His tomb has never been found. Before his death, he chose his son Ogadai as successor, ensuring the empire's survival. His sons and grandsons expanded the empire even further, making it the largest in history. Genghis Khan's vision lived on through his descendants. His genetic legacy is astonishing. Millions of men across Asia share his lineage. His story became legend, his shadow stretching across centuries. The mystery of his tomb endures, fueling fascination to this day. Genghis Khan's death did not end his influence. His empire continued to shape the world. The man became a myth, but his impact was real. His legacy endures in history, legend, and blood. How should we remember Genghis Khan? As a ruthless conqueror or a visionary leader? His wars brought immense suffering but also unity, order, and innovation. He was both destroyer and creator, a paradox at the heart of history. Genghis Khan reshaped the world, leaving a legacy of both terror and transformation. His story teaches us about leadership, ambition, and the complexities of power. From humble beginnings, he changed the course of global history. His systems and ideas outlasted his empire. The past he shaped still echoes in our present. Genghis Khan remains a figure of enduring fascination. His legacy challenges us to see history in all its complexity.